Hey, it's me, Nalthazar, and welcome to another video. In this video, I'm going to be going over Vivien, Monsters Advocate. She's a brand new Planeswalker entering the vault in Magic the Gathering Puzzle Quest. And Vivien is a mono-green walker. She has the same general mana gains as Planeswalkers like Teferi and Nissa Worldwaker. So she's got the +4, +3, +2, +1, and -1 layout, which I happen to think is a really good mana bonus layout. She's got 3 abilities, all of them centered around monsters and evergreens. So we've got the first one, which is Roar of the Daikaiju. We've got the second one, which is Shadows of a Colossus. And we've got the third one, which is Queen of Monsters. Before I get any further, I do want to thank Octagon. They hooked me up with this walker so that I could make this video for you guys. So thank you for giving me time to make the video and letting me use this walker. Now here is what Vivien is going to look like at level 1. So as soon as you get Vivien, she'll be level 1, and she's going to have +2 to green, +1 to red, and then neutral to white, and then -1 black and -3 blue. She's got 44 health at level 1, so just if you're a person who likes playing with your walkers at level 1, this is what she's going to look like. If you are unable to get her to her maximum level, so you just don't have the runes, maybe you're a newer player, or maybe you're saving them for something else, your Vivien at level 30 would look something like this here. So when I say something like this, I mean exactly this, right? So you've got very respectable mana gains at +3, 2, and 1, with a neutral gain to black, and then a negligible -3 to blue, so not really usable. Your Roar of the Daikaiju at level 30 is going to let you pick one of the first 3 different creatures from your library and fetch it. Your Shadows of a Colossus is going to give a creature +4/+4 permanently, and it's going to gain all the evergreen abilities of the first creature card in your hand. And Queen of Monsters is going to fetch the first 2 creatures with the highest cost in your library that are equal to or less than the amount of loyalty that you have. It's going to give those monsters that much mana, and then you're going to lose all your loyalty. So great for fetching monsters from your deck and giving them mana. So here's what she looks like at level 30. Now at level 60, she becomes a little bit more of a monster in her own right. So Roar of the Daikaiju is now going to fetch one of the first 4 instead of one of the first 3 creatures from your library. You're going to fetch that card and give it 3 mana for each of its basic evergreen abilities. Basic evergreen abilities are Flying, Berserker, First Strike, Double Strike, Death Touch, Defender, Hexproof, Lifelink, Menace, Reach, Trample, and Vigilance. Now it's also got Companion. And so Vivien, Monsters Advocate's companion ability is going to require that you have a starting deck with 4 or more creatures with basic evergreen abilities. So you need 4 creatures with the Flying, First Strike, Hexproof, so on and so forth. And then the creature is going to gain a random basic evergreen ability. Now that random ability is going to be something that you don't have. So let's take a look at what that's going to look like here. When you have enough loyalty for Roar of the Daikaiju, and you select it, you actually get to choose between any of the first 4 creatures. You get a confirm prompt, and you pick whichever one you want. Now I'm going to take Hydroid Krasis because it has 2 evergreen abilities, and you'll see that it's going to immediately gain 6 mana. It also gains the First Strike evergreen here, so it's now got permanently First Strike also. The second ability, Shadows of a Colossus, is going to give target creature you control +8/+8, and that's a permanent +8/+8. Then it's going to gain all the basic evergreen abilities of the first creature card in your hand. So let's go ahead and see what that looks like. Now, when you have your second ability active, you're going to want the first creature in your hand to be the creature that you want to pass off an evergreen from. So I want to pass off Hexproof here from Nullhide Ferox, so I've got it first in my hand. And so I'm going to activate Shadows of a Colossus here, and I'm going to select my first creature, and you'll see that as it activates, it gets +8/+8, and it's gained Hexproof. And finally, we've got Queen of Monsters. This is fantastic for objectives where you need to cast a some number of creatures, or if you want to use Mutate, one of the new mechanics in Ikoria, as it's going to give you the creature with full mana. And so with this one, you're going to fetch the first 2 creatures with the highest cost that is equal to or less than the amount of loyalty you have. And then you're going to give those creatures Trample and Vigilance. You're going to give them full mana, and then you're going to lose all of your loyalty. So let's go ahead and check out what this one looks like in action too. So I've got 16 loyalty and I've got Queen of Monsters, and that means that when I use the ability, I can get 2 creatures of up to 16 converted mana cost. Now both of my creatures here are tied, both my little mutator guy and the beast, so I wind up getting both of them by activating Queen of Monsters. Alrighty, so we've had a chance to take a look at the Walker at levels 1, 30, and 60. We've gotten to see what the mana bonuses are like. Let's go ahead and see what this Planeswalker looks like in action. Alrighty, so I got this footage against the Big Bad Hydra in the Big Bad Hydra event. You can see the deck that I'm using here on the side, and you'll see that this is for the node where you need to have only commons, uncommons, and rares. Now, the really cool thing about this deck, and specifically for this Walker, is that because of the Queen of Monsters ability, we're able to jump to getting a bunch of creatures out really quickly. And so you'll see that I'm able to just completely overwhelm this Hydra with really nasty critters. Now, to be fair, Quartzwood Crasher is incredibly strong. And the Mammoth as a 9/9 is going to be making those beast tokens that the Crasher makes even nastier. And so that's what we're going to be seeing here in a minute. So I chose this Philosopher just to pick one. I really didn't care too much about that. And so right now my goal is to get both Garen Brig down and Gingerbread Cabin. Now you're going to see that I'm going to disable the Cabin here because I've got a 5 match. The Cabin only has 2 shields when it comes down, so I really don't want to lose any shields if I don't have to. And then I want to try and get the shared summons off also so that I can fetch 2 creatures from my library. Remember, this is for a node where the objective is to summon, I believe it's 4 creatures. And so, cast 4 creatures. And that's really a strength for this Vivien. So this Vivien is going to make it so that those cast objectives are a lot easier. You're going to see that I'm not actually using my third, even though I have it available, because I only have 16 loyalty. And as you can see, the Crasher costs 17 mana. And that's the cheapest card in my library. So I'm not using it just because I wanted to make sure that I had enough loyalty to be able to use it. So I've got a Thorn Mammoth and I've got a Crasher. I'm now going to be using my third, and you'll see that as Thorn Mammoth is the highest converted mana cost creature in my deck, it's going to pull 2 copies of that. So as I was at 20 loyalty, it was just going to take anything that was 20 or less. Now here I get 2 Thorn Mammoths down. You're also going to see that they get Vigilance and Trample. Now, as they already have Trample, you don't need to see the little yellow thing saying, "Oh, you've now got this Evergreen." No, it's just got the Evergreen. So now here, the Crasher is kind of a scary play, just because once the Crasher comes down, it's going to start making enormous tokens, because our Elephant has Trample, and that means that our Elephant is going to be giving us 19 power worth of beast every single turn. And we still need to cast 1 more creature. Now, the nice thing about, once again, using this Vivien is that we're able to try and farm up to our third ability by activating as many, or by converting and matching as many gems as possible. So I'm getting rid of my opponent's critters here just because I can, and muhahaha. I'm giving myself lifelink just to make it so that I have more staying power, even though I don't actively need it. You're going to see that my Dino Beast is now getting really big. It's a 50-50, and then every turn that I attack, it's going to get bigger and bigger. And now here the Hydra has a whole bunch of mana. They're dropping down some creatures, and they're killing one of their own creatures, which is a great play. Minor sarcasm. Whatever, that's fine. They're making the critter even stronger. They're playing yet another copy of it. And so now we've got a 12/24. 12/24 is not overly scary. I actually don't mind that that's there, just because I need to get a little bit more loyalty if I want to use my third ability. You'll see that I'm only at 8, and I need to be at least 17 loyalty, because Queen of Monsters requires that we have loyalty equal to the converted mana cost of our creatures. Now, that makes this ability, in some ways, it can be a little bit better than Brokon's ability, where it gives you 3 creatures just because you can get it a little bit earlier. But in other ways, it's not as good, because with Brokon's, you can get like 3 Gaia's Revenges, and that's huge. So there, the Thorn Mammoth was offering for my token to fight that Hydra. I did not have it fight the Hydra. It would have made really no big difference. And so here I just really don't want to kill my opponent too quickly. My gem conversion is giving me a bunch of loyalty. You'll see that I've got a 5 match on top. I'm going to go ahead, throw some stuff away. I've got a shared summons here, so if I wind up getting some kind of super crazy cascade out of this, then that's great. I'm at 15, but on the bottom of the screen, you're going to see another 5 match. And so I'm going to go ahead and take that, and that gives me the double match that I needed to be able to use my third ability and get myself 2 more critters. Now it's going to give me 2 more Quartzwood Crashers. So that's going to be good, because that means that our token is going to get even nastier here, as we don't have enough power to kill at this moment in time. So we're going to take a look at things. We're going to go ahead and play it. We're going to make that good, sweet, beautiful match eventually. I'm just sort of determining, okay, is there a way that I can kill this Hydra dude this turn? But then it's like, okay, well, all right, so if I fight that thing and I play 2 more Quartzwoods, is that going to work? Simple answer is no. No, that's not going to work. But then, oh wait, I didn't calculate that the beast gets bigger. So yes, it does. To close this out, I figure I'll tell you where does Vivien lie on my tier list. And last time I made one of these videos, a lot of you guys requested that I go into decks and show you guys her limits. Or her limits, but the Planeswalker's limits. So Vivien is going to allow you to have up to 8 creatures, 6 spells, and 5 supports at level 60. So those of you who are wondering what can you put in the deck, these are the limitations. Now, as for my final thoughts on Vivien Monsters Advocate, I'd say that she lies solidly in the B tier for monocolored walkers. That would be these are good and worth having Planeswalkers. Now, if you don't want to buy Vivien, Vivien's going to be available soon for 295 mana crystals. So if you save up 295 mana crystals, you'll be able to get your hands on her. If you're already saving up for Narset, I think Narset's going to be like 850. It's going to be a lot of crystals to save up for, but yeah, Vivien's definitely worth having in your collection. So thanks for tuning in and watching this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.